Dato potente macigno, c'è una mano per cugno, poi è meno se per so che è di merito per le volate, io ci faccio partire quando la davanti a c'è una scia poi c'è poi tempo da tutto da valore, poi non può fare io lavoro io solo macigno, ma io trovo che nella volta nel trovo che San Giuseppe io trovo che io lo so da io durante la come me la c'è io me la fa la volta ne c'è non va la do va la macigno. Io la io faccio io da lo io ci voglio io ne ho tomorrow, Janu Giovanna, they were when you do your budget, the other night you were to want about the other, you know, to what you know, what is the word of the situation. Nanda, the boss of Mala, Jama, when you know, so that do the so much in your what they you were to you know, the Mayor, the best in your door, in your road, the London division, and the other version of your education, and the other and you watch your io con noi andavo a Mada, ci metti per la noce, ci stanno alla mia, ci c'è il compagno, io sai per io ci metto già, c'era lì niente, io vado a vedere ci va mi deve poi io non da ci lo devo. Ah, sì, alle mai sono già tutto quello c'è, ci me ne sto con la c'è per tutto, c'è poi la mai da quello sulla per tu già un vicino dalla signora do. Io da ma pure non me la vannia dai Sanjay Chudan so ye Chudan la cha jo ko ta ne jo ye da ye da ye da Sanjay Chudan so ye Chudan la cha jo ko ta ne jo ye da ye ye ji ye da ke to la bi ja Sanjay ro ye ko ta ye Chudan so ye la cha jo ko ta ne jo da ge shu ye ji ye da ge ro la kan je Sanjay ro wa shu ne gang ye de je de wa ju ka ba me ba ji me ba je wa me ba ta me ba wa me ba ro me ba da de me de me ro ni shi ne Love Sanjay Manam Tamba de la Chala Loa. Love the Sanjay Waguno Sambes, Kunya Chala Loa. Come to Genius on air, the one the Japanese, the Legend de la Chala Loa. Tony Jesus, Juga, changes in the Kajana, Yokochana, so what is the shit and show. Okay, short meditation, motivation. Before we do meditation, I'll say a few words of motivation. Most of the teacher, where I receive teaching, their tradition, okay, when they keep teaching, their tradition is the first step is always motivation. Why we are listening to this teaching, why we are giving this teaching, and what is the purpose, and then in general, so always give motivation. Because this is, I think, in Tibetan Buddhism, this is a very normal thing to do. So I try to imitate my spiritual teachers. So motivation. sort of note which here it says the motivation should be there's no other important things than to cultivate bodhicitta. Okay? There's no other important thing than to cultivate bodhicitta. And then we have been talking yesterday about bodhicitta and how to cultivate bodhicitta, especially equalizing and exchanging method. And then we talked about the 7 causal effect. We count all the 7, and then those things are meant to transform your mind. Transform your mind means change your mind into bodhicitta. Okay, and bodhicitta, even the Buddhas, okay, all the Buddhas, when they thought on it, what is the best? Okay, what will be the best for every sentient being? And the answer was bodhicitta. Okay, bodhicitta. Bodhicitta was, and bodhicitta is, and bodhicitta will be the best gift or best thing to repay back the mother sentient being. And then all Buddha unanimously come to this sort of conclusion. So now we are talking about bodhicitta. We are trying to educate or trying to inform how to cultivate bodhicitta. And then of course I also talked about the importance of bodhicitta. And this, like a difficult world, you see, we need a person whom we can 100% trust. For that also we need to practice of bodhicitta. And we need a person who can really guide as a spiritual teacher. For that also we need bodhicitta. And then if we need to develop friendship to everybody, again we need bodhicitta. Okay? If you want to fulfill the wishes of every sentient being, again we need bodhicitta. Okay? There's no action or thought or speech where bodhicitta cannot play any important role. Okay? The bodhicitta can play the most important and reliable and trustworthy and best involvement and can play by the bodhicitta. Therefore, now we are very fortunate. Okay, we are very fortunate that we are able to talk about bodhicitta and listen about bodhicitta, and then try to do some meditation on bodhicitta. That is the most important thing, you see, what we can do in our life. We did a lot, and we are doing a lot, and we are planning to do many things, but then to cultivate bodhicitta is among those activities or thoughts or speech. The bodhicitta is the best, you see. Therefore, our motivation has to be, so I will try to listen the teaching of bodhicitta as clear as possible, and then I will practice bodhicitta. And if possible in this life, my mind will be transformed into bodhicitta. I will really try, okay? Many bodhisattvas, great spiritual teachers, tried and they succeeded. If they succeeded, then why don't we, okay? Because we are same human being. And the only thing is we are a bit lazy and we are a bit distracted. Not bit, maybe we are distracted and we are very lazy, you see. We need to sleep a lot, we need to eat a lot, we need a very, very calm sofa and cozy bed and all this, and hot shower and everything, you see. And those people who really achieve bodhicitta really worked very hard, you see. Really, really hard, very, very hard, okay. They never had like a very soft cushions. They never traveled by car or flight. They never had almost like, I think, as far as I know, you see, most of my spiritual teacher, I think they have no experience of all these luxurious things. But their mind is transformed into bodhicitta, because they didn't put effort for all these worldly things, but they put all the effort to cultivate bodhicitta. And because of this, we are doing very important thing. We are speaking very important thing. We are meditating, trying to meditate very important thing. So this is a very inspiring thing in our life. And so this is the purpose, the core purpose of the precious human life. This is the core purpose of the sometimes these days well-educated people are, instead of guiding us in a proper sort of way, I think they guide sometimes, they guide very terrible sort of way, see? And sometimes we feel like, what is the purpose of education? And what is the purpose of education? They know a lot, but then it's so difficult to say that it's good or bad, you see. And sometimes it can be also very bad, you see. So this way, once you have Bodhicitta, and then whatever you do, you will do for the benefit of every sentient being, for the benefit of the whole world, for the benefit of every sentient being, and also the people who are in the coming generations, you see, and sentient beings who are coming generations. So in this way, you should not think that we are doing something not so important thing. We are really doing a very important thing. Yeah. And the recapitulation is not that sort of needed, but then we talked a little bit about the precious human life. We talked about the morality quite a lot. And then yesterday we talked mostly how to cultivate Bodhicitta through the practice of equalizing and exchanging. And now today, also we counted the 7 cause and effect, but today I'm really going to ask one question. That question is, do you see any reason if we practice, our mind will be transformed into Bodhicitta? Do you see any reason? Do you see any hope? Okay, any hope that if we really practice in the way we explained yesterday, equalizing and exchanging method, do you see that there is a reason, there is a logic that we will definitely, one day our mind will be transformed into Bodhicitta? Do you see any reason, you see? And then today we are going to do meditation on 7 cause and effect. I explained yesterday, and then I really tried to establish life before, life after, and then through this, then it's possible that every sentient being became my mother, and became my father, or became my auntie, uncle, brother, sister, several times, and through this, and then we feel the responsibility to repay back the kindness, you see. And then the best repay back you can do is to remove their suffering, okay? What is needed, okay? Remove their suffering. Of course, we give some bread. Through this, it removes some suffering, because if they are very hungry, yes, and then it removes the suffering of hunger. Okay? If we give a cloth, and then we try to remove the suffering which is cold, okay, cold. And then as soon as they wear a nice trouser, nice jacket, they feel so warm and they're relieved from coldness, you see. And these are also trying to remove the suffering. But this is a temporary solution, you see. This will never remain forever. This is a temporary solution. It is a good, okay, it is a really good, but this is not a permanent solution. To achieve permanent solution is try to help and to make them really happy, and try to help them to create the sources of happiness, and then try to help them to remove the suffering. But the most important thing is try to help them to remove the sources of the suffering, where the sufferings are coming from. Okay, where the sufferings are coming from, you see. And therefore that, then we are aiming to find a solution which will be really reliable, okay, trustworthy, worth trying and worth putting effort. Yeah, we are trying to find this. That is to remove the suffering and to try to help them to achieve happiness. last year, I think one of the talk in New York was what is happiness and what is suffering. Okay, and it was in a way it was quite strange. You see, is there anyone who really don't know happiness? You see, and is there anyone who really don't know any suffering? You see, but it's a topic. I have to talk about 2 hours and a half. I have to talk what is happiness and what is suffering. Okay. And then if we just talk simply the happiness, what we all are experiencing, of course then we don't have to talk, you see, we all know, you see, we all know. But then my friend who's very creative, okay, critical, he always says, I wanted to be out of the box. Okay? Very critical, he said. And he's asking constantly, Geshe, what is happiness? Okay? What exactly is happiness? And then, of course, I have to say what is happiness, you see. And this is very simple, you see. Isn't it? Happiness is to define happiness is very simple. Very simple. But there are certain happiness which we never experience. That the normal sort of happiness, okay, normal sort of happiness, I think we all can say that this is happiness. But then there are certain sort of level of happiness which we never experienced before, and then to cover all those sort of happiness, then happiness becomes quite complicated, you see. Yeah. And he was digging, okay, okay. He has been studying under me maybe more than 4 years, I think, more than 4 years. He studied, and he read many texts and asked many questions, you see. And also he has a brilliant mind. He is one of the top lawyers in New York. And he will never leave me alone, you see. Very tough, very tough. I think one of the top lawyers, you see. And how he defend or like this, this is really breathtaking, you see. How he present, how he use the words, everything is so clear, you see, it's so clear, yeah. So now happiness is very simple, okay. I will define that happiness is a pleasant feeling, pleasant feeling. We all like to enjoy, okay? Pleasant feeling, okay, pleasant feeling. Happiness, the definition of happiness is a pleasant feeling which we all like to enjoy. Okay? That's happiness. But then, do you know all the happiness? Then difficult, you see, then difficult. There are so many categories of happiness which we never experience, okay? And then I never experienced some of your happiness also. Yesterday we had a very nice dinner and the cake. So the cake was very good, you see. Very good. It was very good, you see. But the stomach was full, you see. There's no space left. Otherwise I would have eaten everything, you see. It was so nice. So, and to me, that type of experience was very rare. Almost, I don't remember. Our friend Lena Seven makes a very good cake. Extremely good cake. She wrote a book on food, isn't it? She's a very good cook. So we often enjoy, and then those are in the memory, you see. Memory, so I don't enjoy yesterday. So the cake we ate yesterday was, to me, it was a new sort of experience. So you have many other happinesses. You have many other happinesses, you see, which I never experienced. And I think maybe there's no happiness which I experience but you don't experience. I don't think there is. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, now don't talk this way. We just go ahead. And just give some idea of happiness, okay? Because we are aiming to help Mother Sentient Being to be happy out of unconditional love, okay? And then we are also trying to help Mother Sentient Being to reduce suffering and the sources of suffering, okay? And to reduce suffering, we really have to know the suffering, you see. If we really wanted to help, to make happy, we really know to happiness, you see. If we are totally mistaken, happiness and confused happiness and the suffering, everything, then how can we help them, you see? So because of this, it is a big thing, you see. So now I say it directly because we are running out of time. Suffering, no problem. Huh? Suffering is no problem, isn't it? Suffering, no problem. My Swedish sister, her name is Karen, okay? She bought a small t-shirt, from Nepal t-shirt, okay? And in the t-shirt, there's a slogan which says, Mount Everest, no problem. I really loved it, you see. Mount Everest, no problem. So, the same way, suffering, no problem. Happiness also, no problem. If the Mount Everest, no problem, then happiness also, no problem, you see. Now, happiness has two types of happiness, okay? One happiness we constantly enjoy. We get the experience of one category of happiness, we constantly get the experience. But another level of happiness, we don't get any experiences, you see. So that two types of happiness is, one is, we call it, okay, in Tibetan we say subject, and then one is same, okay. Now in English they translate it as a contaminated happiness and uncontaminated happiness, okay. The contaminated happiness is what we enjoy, okay, what we enjoy. And I think most of these are happiness which is contaminated. Means happiness which gives some pleasant feeling, but then if we go on using it, then we slowly we get tired. Okay. Slowly we get tired, or it disappears, or it ends up. Okay. This contaminated happiness is a temporary happiness. It remains, okay, certain sort of time, and then slowly either it will change into type of suffering, or it will disappear by itself, okay, and so it is also destroyed by certain sort of cause and condition. So these happinesses are the happinesses what we all are enjoying. Yeah, what we all enjoy. That is called contaminated happiness. Why it is contaminated happiness? Because these happinesses are rooted to some destructive emotions, either rooted to desire, okay, or it's rooted to some greed, okay, and then of course definitely these are rooted to ignorance, desire or greed, okay, and then some happiness can be also rooted to anger, you see. There are some people who enjoy torturing some other people. I see a lot of movie in India, you see. They are eating, and then enjoy, ha 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 ha, okay. Maybe they get a satisfaction, and that satisfaction is pleasant feeling, but very, very stupid pleasant feeling, okay. So this, I think this, and then also like say, having a brand new car today, then you go out and try to use, and then it just clean, okay. Then slowly, day after day, then cleaning becomes less and less, okay. When it's brand new, they go and try, then clean everything. It's not dark, they clean again. At that time, there is a happiness, pleasant feelings. Just by seeing the car, feel very happy. But then slowly it goes down, isn't it? And then like new couples, new boyfriend, girlfriend, oh, in the beginning it's very happy. Almost like they want to be one, you see? One, okay? But then slowly it becomes thinner and thinner, and then started fighting. Yeah? And these are contaminated happiness, okay? Yeah. Then uncontaminated happiness is, I think for us, I think quite difficult. Why? Because we didn't remove destructive emotions. If we are able to remove destructive emotion or any part of destructive emotion, okay, even a single small part of the destructive emotion, we get experience, and that experience can be uncontaminated happiness. Okay, but uncontaminated happiness has many levels. Okay, if we totally remove all the destructive emotion, including ignorance, and including subtle imprints of the ignorance, and then from that we get a real happiness, okay? And that happiness will never go down, okay? This will never go down. And this happiness is almost like a permanent. For example, like when we achieve nirvana. And then this state of nirvana, the state of nirvana is totally free from suffering and source of suffering. And it's so blissful and so happy feeling that it can sit like this for eons, you see. And there will be no tiredness, and it will not go down. It will not disappear. Okay? So that is uncontaminated happiness. Why? Contaminations are destructive emotions, ignorance and all these things. These are contaminations. And this nirvana is totally free from destructive emotion. Because of this, we say uncontaminated happiness. And Buddhism is teaching us to achieve that sort of happiness. And then if you wanted to go higher, then enlightenment, okay? Enlightenment, Maha-Nirvana. Okay? Maha-Nirvana is Buddhahood, Maha-Nirvana. And then it will, this is very happy for one's own self, plus this can produce a lot of happiness to so many people, okay? Uncontaminated happiness. So, okay, now I think I should stop here. So, when you think of providing to all mother sentient beings to be happy, means you really have to aim to help mother sentient beings to be able to achieve uncontaminated happiness. Ultimate goal, okay, then this becomes a very big thing. And then try to remove the suffering. That's as I put example, as a temporary solving the problem, okay. And it was a question, I think. When we were talking in Volvo, I think they asked, I don't know. I think it was, I don't know, it went like this. If we help those children who has nothing, no opportunity of education, no proposal of clothes, lunch, like this, okay? And then if you help, okay, and then I think what you get or something like that, okay? And I just explained that we get a satisfaction by giving, okay, by giving them an opportunity to be in a good school. And then if they are in a good school, when we see those children are in a good school, we get a satisfaction, isn't it? We get a sort of pleasant feeling that, wow, that is good, okay, very good. Okay. And then normally they don't have proper clothes, and then they don't have proper sort of lunch. So then school, we provide school, in the school we provide very nice sort of lunch, and in a very nice place, and then they have the uniform which is made from the school, and then by seeing these children, we saw those children before when they come to the school, and then by seeing this, we get a really nice experience. You see, we feel so happy, get a very pleasant feeling, satisfaction. Okay, and that satisfaction, if this satisfaction is very pure, it is really a good experience, and then it will encourage you to do more, and it will never eat your energy. Okay, you will never get exhausted. Okay, yeah. And then another level is that if you think that if your child having no shoe, no trouser, and just lying on the road with all the hairs are like nest and very dirty, filthy, these are here. And then if you see like this as a mummy, if you see like this, and how much pain you will get, how much pain, how much worry you will be in your heart. Okay? I think mother cannot resist almost like that. But then if these filthy people are taking shower and then dress properly and get a nice food and clothes and shelter, and then how much satisfaction or pleasant feeling the mother get. In the same way, okay, we should get this sort of satisfaction, you see. Very happy, okay. Oh, I'm so happy, okay. Oh, he's wearing nice clothes. He's properly sitting on the cushion and eating nice lunch, and wow, this is so good, you see. And then these types of feelings are almost coming out of compassion, and this feeling can be more reliable than normal sort of, like having nice shoe for yourself. Much better sort of happiness. Okay, if you just go on purifying this, making it better and better and better, and then it becomes very bad, good. Then our mind changes into compassion. Okay, and then by practicing this, one day our mind changes, transforms into Bodhicitta. Okay, and then whatever you think or do, and almost like everything is not defiled or contaminated. Even there's some contamination, that contamination becomes so thin, so easy to wash it away. Okay, so in this way, to experience all aspects of happiness and to experience all aspects of suffering, but through this, and then you will really feel that you definitely need to help mother sentient being to be free from suffering, and to lead to a happiness which is reliable, if possible, uncontaminated happiness, if not really as pure happiness as possible. Okay. And in this way, if you go on practicing, and possibly your mind will be changing to Bodhicitta. So now we do meditation, okay? Now you have the confidence, okay? You have the confidence or the understanding that if I do this meditation, it will change my mind into Bodhicitta, okay? What I explained now, it changes, okay? Yeah. And so I'm going to repeat the 7 cause, 6 cause, and the effect, including effect 7. first I will just count, okay, and then we do meditation. Slowly, slowly, I might leave first step like 1 or 2 minutes, and then we go to the next step, 1, 2 minutes, and then go to the next step, another 2, 3 minutes, and then maybe in the last, like compassion, loving kindness, I might leave a little bit longer, and then unusual attitude, maybe I will leave much longer. Okay, and then in this way you have to do this again, again. Yeah. First I'm counting. Now, there's one technical point. If you are very close to your mother, then you can consider all sentient being as your mother sentient being. And if you have a little bit of problem in this life with the mother, then you can try to think any, you see, if you are very close to your father, or if you are very close to your uncle or auntie or whatever, okay, and that is no problem. There is no problem. Brother, sister, any, okay, whichever you feel very close, and then consider every sentient being has been like that. Okay, yeah. But I will use mother sentient being. Otherwise, it will be difficult. So now, first one is try to recognize that every sentient being has been my mother for several times. Okay. Every sentient being has been my mother because I have been born again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again, and then my life beginning is beginningless. So countless beginning. Then I will have a parents, mother, okay? And because of this reason, and every sentient being has been my mother, okay? And not only one time, several times. And then second step is, if they have been my mother for several times, and then in this life, okay, my mother has done so many things, so many good things to me, including giving birth, taking care, changing the napkins, breastfeeding, and hugging and feeding, okay. So many, it's not 1 day and 2 days, but still we really grow, really big. So, in the same way, every mother sentient being did the same kindness and maybe more, and some of them might have taught me so many nice things, okay? Because of this, you try to think that, remember the kindness done by mother sentient being, and just try to see that they are so kind, they have done so much, okay? And not only one time, several times, 100,000 times, you see, they did so many nice things. If you think this way, then you started feeling like that they are so kind, okay, so kind. And then you started feeling that, how can I do something better, see? This life, if someone gives me a cup of tea, still I have to say thank you. And then this mother sentient being have done so much, okay? So I really like to say thank you in a practical way. Then, Tin So means how I can repay back. The third step. And then the best repay back is, I think first urgent thing is they are suffering. They are suffering, so I really tried my hard to reduce the suffering and source of suffering. And out of this, you try to cultivate compassion, or great compassion. And then just simply removing suffering, of course it will make happiness, but then we can add more happiness. So they are also lacking happiness, and they really wanted to enjoy. For that, I really wanted to help them without differentiating to every mother sentient being. And then you try to develop unconditional love. The compassion, developing compassion towards mother sentient being, and developing unconditional love towards mother sentient being is the best repay back you can do to mother sentient being. And then after that, you try to take the responsibility that I am going to take this huge responsibility. I'm not going to make any excuses. He is there, she is there, he is very clever, that is very clever. They are good. Because I don't want to, not like this. Okay. I really want to take the responsibility. Unequal attitude. Really want to take it. If you want to take the responsibility, you have the ability and potential, all the good quality, then I don't have. So for that, I really wanted to achieve Buddhahood, enlightenment. Okay? So I almost explained in the sequences of the meditation, but we go back and start again. Now we start the real meditation. Okay, start. Every sentient being has been my mother for several times, because my life has beginningless life, had a beginningless life, even its beginningless life, and then definitely all mother sentient being has been my mother. And then the second step, every sentient being has been my mother. And so during their mothership, they did so many good things. As if we think of this life's mother, and they did so many nice things for many years, you see. And in the same way, every sentient being did same as this life's mother, and not only one time, many times, you see. So they have been so kind. Their kindness, if we collect, it's like a mountains. Okay? The whole world is not enough to put all the kindness if we put together. So they have done so huge kindness. So if they have done such a huge kindness to me, then myself, born as a sensible human being and well educated and ability to think what is good and bad, and from that perspective, if I think of mother sentient being, and their kindness is huge, and I'm born as a human being, I have the potential to repay back. And then I really wanted to repay back their kindness, okay? Not simply saying thank you, but practically I really wanted to repay back. through this meditation, when you are totally motivated that I really wanted to repay back the kindness of other sentient being, I really wanted to repay back. And then you have to think that what is the best to repay back. And all mother sentient beings are suffering different types of suffering, and they are lacking happiness. This is the area where I need to repay back. And the urgent thing is the mother sentient beings are suffering either from old age or disease or death or different types of mental problems, suffering. And to reduce this, to reduce this suffering, I really like to help to reduce their suffering. For that, I need to develop compassion, and then only I will move and I will do, tirelessly. If I don't cultivate compassion, I might do certain days, 1 week or 2 weeks, maybe 1 month, then I will collapse. So I need to develop compassion by thinking that the removal of suffering of mother sentient beings is very, very urgent. And mother sentient beings are millions and millions and millions, To remove this is so urgent. Even 1 second is impossible to wait. And by thinking this, try to cultivate compassion. To try to remove the suffering and source of suffering of mother sentient being by cultivating compassion towards the mother sentient being is a wonderful thought, and it brings a lot of action. But then there's another side, that they really need happiness. And for that, I will try to accumulate, try to help them to accumulate happiness and sources of the happiness by cultivating unconditional love towards mother sentient being. now to reduce their suffering and source of suffering, and to help them to achieve happiness and sources of happiness. Sometimes we think that there are so many other wise, educated, rich, and many spiritual teachers. So they will do it. Why should I do? Okay, because Mother Sentient Being has done kindness in everything to them also. Then why should I take responsibility? So that way of attitude is totally wrong. You see, wrong. Why? Because you are now counting how much kindness is shown to you by all Mother Sentient Being. So if kindness is shown to you, then you have to take the responsibility to repay back. And therefore, the best repay back is to cultivate compassion, loving kindness. And then taking the responsibility of removing the suffering and making them happy. So you take full responsibility by you that I really wanted to remove the suffering and the source of suffering, and I really wanted to take the responsibility to make Mother Sentient Being very happy and accumulate all the sources of the happiness. I'll take the responsibility. And that is unusual attitude or outstanding attitude. Now to remove the suffering and source of suffering and to make them happy and accumulate all the sources of happiness, I really want to take the responsibility just by myself. I really want to take the responsibility. Yes, I really want to take the responsibility. But then if I have to take the responsibility, is anything lacking in me? Okay, for the at moment, okay, I am lacking so many good qualities, and to know the mentality of the Mother Sentient Being, and to know what exactly every Mother Sentient Being needs, and then to know the technique how to lead them in an unmistaken way. And then at present, I am in that sort of, not in that level. For that, I really need to achieve Buddhahood. Only then I can lead the Mother Sentient Being in an unmistaken way, in the most profound, pure, and reliable way. Therefore, for the sake of Mother Sentient Being, for the sake of means to remove the suffering, sources of suffering, and to make them totally happy and accumulate all the sources of happiness. And to do this, okay, I need to achieve Buddhahood. I really, sincerely, I really need to achieve Buddhahood. Otherwise, it's impossible. do all these things, to take responsibility. Practically, okay, it is impossible. So therefore, for the sake of every sentient being, I really wanted to cultivate Bodhicitta. For Bodhicitta, I need to achieve enlightenment. Then only I can fulfill the wishes of every sentient being. So for the sake of every sentient being, I wanted to achieve. Another way we say, I wanted to achieve enlightenment for the sake of every sentient being. And that mind is called Bodhicitta. Okay? So we went like running water. Okay, when you do practice at your home, then first you do to recognize mother sentient being. Okay, and like several hours or several days, that every sentient being has been my mother. Just to bring every sentient being so close to your heart, and to just try to see that they're exactly the same as your mother or your father or for your auntie or uncle. Okay, so just try to see them. They're so precious, so important. You see, till you get like this, you do meditation only on the first step, and after that, then mind will move. Mind will tend to move. You see, by itself. That it will tend to move. That they have been mother. Then what did they do for us? Okay, my mind will go there. You see, and then count everything. Count everything. If you go to Lamrim teaching, there are so many explanations. Okay, lot of explanation, and then just read more. Just enrich yourself. Load yourself with so many batteries, okay, so that you will be not run out of the battery. So just make it. And then if you remain this for certain sort of time or like days, and then it becomes very good. Then go to the next, and go to the next. It Today we are short, so we went like this, like this. And normal practice has to be like take each step for a certain period of time till it really grows in you, till your mind is totally transformed. And then it will go very smoothly. The first step is mistaken, then other steps will be mistaken. So first step is very important. And then now to cultivate bodhicitta is very healthy food, you see. Cultivate bodhicitta is very healthy food, very, very healthy, you see. If your body is not weak, if your body is not healthy, if your body is very weak, then you may vomit or loose motion. So it will not, you will not be able to digest. Therefore, during those meditations, then doing offering, okay, doing offerings like mandala offering and water offering, the butter lamp offering, whatever you have, okay, whatever you get, you just try to offer like few minutes or half an hour, just offer, okay, and do prostration, say some mantras, okay, and try to accumulate, and then try to be nice to your neighbors, try to be nice to everybody in a practical life. Go to the temple, do some prayers, to say, I really want you to cultivate bodhicitta, okay, please bless me, okay, and then just try to, for accomplishment, we normally pray to Tara, okay, green Tara, and then if you are really on the way to cultivate bodhicitta, and the best is Avalokiteshvara, okay, just I really want to be like you, okay, so just try to go and see and read about Avalokiteshvara and do offering, and then do some generosity, okay. You don't have to eat everything by yourself, you see. That's what people who need. Just give, okay. Just give with a good heart, and this will make you lucky person, okay. Fortunate person, lucky person, okay. In the West, this verse is there, but they don't go beyond this, you see. He is very lucky. Yeah. She is very lucky. She is very fortunate. But why? Then they don't go beyond this, you see. So actually, these are accumulated in this way. And then you will be really lucky person, means you will be a very healthy person who will digest, okay, bodhicitta. Means you will be really, there will be no obstacles, you see. You will not vomit, you will not have dysentery, okay, and then you will really digest. Means you will really be able to cultivate bodhicitta. There are so many other factors, you see. You have to maintain your morality, very, very, very important. You have to maintain your morality. Oh, I am practicing cultivate bodhicitta, so, and then telling a lot of lies, doing so many bad things. Oh, not possible, you see. No possibility, you see. Maintain morality, and then try to accumulate as many good karma as possible by doing whatever I told you, okay. In the tradition, if you want to cultivate bodhicitta, mostly we do 100,000 prostration and 100,000 Vajrasattva mantra and 100,000 mandala offering and 100,000 prostration. We do all these things. These are preliminary practices. Why? Because this purifies your contamination on the mind, and then your mind becomes more clear, functional, and healthy, and then you can, if you do meditation, then this becomes so, just goes like this, you see, just goes like this. So in Tibetan tradition, and this is a very, very common sort of practice. Now at present, I am facing some problem because one of our philosophy teacher, you met, isn't it, Geshe, who is a philosophy teacher. Now he wanted to resign. Yeah, he wanted to resign from the monastery. He was appointed by me as a philosophy teacher, and now he said he wanted to resign because he really wanted to do some quiet practices. Yeah, we requested him to stay. And then the last version was that I asked him to stay at least like 1 year, so that I will be able to arrange another good teacher. Not easy. Not easy. Oh, I have to look those people and then like arrange and then they have stay and room and food and everything I have to arrange, and then it has to be a good teacher, you see, because those monks in the monastery, 37 monks, we had some more, but some are left, you see. Those 37 monks are just looking to me, expecting that Geshe will give us a good teacher, Geshe will give us a nice food and nice shelter, and so they just rely on me, you see. So in this way, now I'm in a trouble, you see. But he really wanted to go to practice. First thing he said was, I really wanted to do all those preliminary practices. And then he wanted to do all the, that he will not say, okay, he will not say, I want to do the cultivate Buddhist. That they will never say, I want to do some prayers, or I wanted to do some practice in a quiet place. That is maximum they will say like this. They will say, no, I'm going to do meditation on Bodhicitta 3 years, and then after that I'm entered Tantric, and then I want to do they will never. In Tibetan tradition, this is not possible. If they say like this, then we have to be very afraid. Oh wow, this is really frightening. Okay, we have to be very afraid, you see. So now these days is becoming more common, which is very sad. Okay, this is maybe one small part of the declining, you see. Yeah. So everything has to be done just sincerely, purely, okay, just purely. Yeah. So all this, and then also impossible, okay, now I didn't speak anything about this, but then now I'm giving and teaching and leading you this meditation. And maybe impossible, you just try to think of Guru devotion like Hiswalin Tadarama. Guru devotion means really huge dedication, huge devotion. And by seeing his quality, seeing his teachings, seeing his compassion, how much he's working so hard, you see. This is unbelievable, you see. Unbelievable. It's just in Dharamsala, the Tibetans group coming, and this Tibetans group, almost like they are coming about 500-600 people coming, and he has to keep teaching at least 3 days. They are like Tibetans group. He has to give specific teaching. Then Korean group coming. Korean group comes again. They are not big group, but 200, sometimes 100 they come. And they are group, significant group, and again he has to give teaching. Then Russian group, again he has to give teaching. Mongolian group, again he has to give teaching. And Singapore group, again he has to give teaching. So it's like this, you see. He never said no, you see. And the teachings are also not so easy, you see. All are really, really big teachings. And at least 3 days. And then in general, you see, in general he is giving teaching, many teachings everywhere. In the United States, I think within 3 days he gave teaching very huge topics. One of my friend also attended. Now when I go back, I will stay a few days in Dharamsala, and then I go to South India to receive teaching from him. That will be from the 25th of December to the 3rd of January. And he will give Lamrim teaching. Last year it was 35,000 people came. Mostly monks and nuns were about 21,000, you see. And then this is like ocean, you see, all red. Yellow and red, you see. And so many lay people, and so many foreigners also. And he has to encounter all these teachings. But he's always smiling, No sort of tiredness, you see. He's 78, you see. No, he's always smiling and working. And in between, there's so many audiences, okay. Every day, like 10, 12 audiences. And then every person, at least they spend about half an hour. He has to talk. And they have so many things to discuss. Some problem, big problem, some serious problem, planning, he has to say And then there's a science and mind conference. He has to talk with the scientist. Science and mind conference. Some Geshes and some scientists, they are coming almost every year, like 2 or 3 times. And then visiting many universities. Yeah, oh, it's really endless. And then, as a Tibetan, he has a huge responsibility. Of course, now he says, I'm resigned from the political status as a Tibetan leader. But still, how can he take this out? There's no way, you see. So many people, so many people. And especially this Hong Kong, from Hong Kong, through Hong Kong, or through Taiwan, then so many Chinese also coming. They can't come direct, but they go to Hong Kong or Taiwan and then come to Dharamsala to receive teaching. Yeah. So, one person, and this is, I think this is because of his Bodhicitta, because his compassion, you see, and he can exist here. But Chinese are criticized everywhere. It's everywhere. Don't meet him. Obama, don't meet him. He's a very bad person. And so many. But he is still surviving in a very healthy way. Yeah. I think this is because of his Bodhicitta, because of his compassion, because of his wisdom. See? So we also have to try. This is a good example, okay? Living example. I'm not praising him because he's a Tibetan. One thing is that when I was in the United States, and then my friend wanted to book the ticket to go to the teaching, okay? And then the ticket opens at 9 o'clock. And then my friend, they were waiting with the laptop to book. And they took few minutes, and already they were in the row in. All the fronts are booked, you see. Just goes the soup, and then everything is booked, you see. And all full, there's never empty, you see. That shows that the people really love him, you see, respect him. And this is all because of his compassion and Bodhicitta and wisdom, you see. He has no selfish thinking. And whatever money it gets, all goes to the charity, all goes to the charity. If I ask, of course, I can also get some part of it, because I'm also doing charity work. But he gave 2 times, but I didn't ask. Because he has so many people who wanted money from him. So I don't ask again. When I was studying Bodhong revival work, I was starting this research center. He just voluntarily gave 5 lakh rupees, okay? This is just seed money. And then small money for the, again same like 5 lakh for the project in Arunachal Pradesh. If I apply, I will get, definitely I will get. But I have to work very hard. Why should I overburden him, you see? I have the opportunity, I have many friends, and he has so many things to do, you see. He has so many things to do, so many things to think. So many people are coming just to throw all their problems and wanted to seek so many guidance, you see. It's unbelievable, you see. If you see how audience are taking place. When we had audience, it was big, you see. It was like 187 people we were there. And he was taking photo with every country. Norway and Sweden group, and Norway group, English group, and American group, and the Tibetan group, and Nepali group. He was taking all this, it's just planning. Just instantly he planned, you see. And he gave talk, guidance, okay. So, Bodhicitta is achievable, okay? Bodhicitta is achievable. Compassion is also achievable if we try, and that will be very, very meaningful for oneself, and very meaningful for the society, for all humanity, for all sentient beings. So 10 minutes, if you have some questions related with your meditation, and if there's any sort of technical questions you would like to ask, or if there's anything, if I need to make more sort of clarifications. I built quite a good foundation, you see, quite a good foundation. We started from there and then slowly I went, you see. So,
points, you should do it in sequential order. What if you're meditating on Lam Rim? Do you wait until you get to that point in Lam Rim and you start up, or do you do
same, Lam Rim explains same as I explained, okay? And then Lam Rim also gives instruction. And without achieving the first step, jumping to the next step is not recommended. Just today we did, you see, because we are not so much time, and then we did like this. We just try to get a clearer understanding picture, and then we jump to the next. Try to get a little bit of experience of understanding, and jump to the next. But in the real meditation, then you have to go slowly. Okay? And Lam Rim also gives the same instruction. Yes.
I have some problem with the repay back.
Repay back.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I think if I'm thinking of myself in a small way, giving something is not that I expect something back. And now I'm expecting to repay back. I mean, I could be very grateful, but I would more like to do something from my heart, not due to, for me it's a little bit negative to say I will repay back.
Repay back to?
I mean, the second one is
Repay back to the mother sentient being.
mother sentient being.
Repay
yes,
back to the mother sentient
yeah.
being. Yeah.
For me, it's I have a little bit problem with it. I mean,
What? How?
that it's called repay back. I would more
Because they have done something for me, therefore I repay back.
Yeah.
And then you face problem or what?
Yeah, I face it.
Huh?
Yeah.
Why this problem?
It's a way. I don't want to use the repay. I do it because I want to do it. It's not a way of repay back, because that's the other way also around. If I
You're right. But then normally, in a normal situation, do you feel close to your family members or any other people?
Yes, I feel close
To your family members, isn't it?
Yes, in a
Yes.
way, but it's.
I think that is you have to answer practically, you see.
Yeah.
Not in another way, you see. You just have to give me answer practically.
Yeah.
Do you feel more connected to your family members? Okay. I think it's yes, isn't it?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Yes.
And then do you feel like obligation to do something for your family member? Yes. Isn't it?
Yes, both for family, but also for others.
Which one is important? No, not important. Which one you do most? You have to be truthful, honest. I think you definitely do more for your children and like this, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So because of this, these are coming from the connection. So I have to be honest, you see, because I have mother, and I don't know whether this is attachment or I don't know, but I really love her, you see. And she herself is really nice old lady, very nice lady. She really gives full support, you see. If I say that I have to go to help some poor people, she will say, you go. Okay. Of course, I need you to stay with me all the time. But if you are helping some poor people, go please. And if I say, I want you to fulfill wishes of His Son Dalai Lama, oh, she will say, no, go, okay, go. Of course, she loves me, okay, because I'm her son, and she is my mother. But this connection, we can use in such a healthy way that she can almost like impose me. she can impose me. She has right, you see. She has a right. Because she was my mother and she did so many nice things. And what is wrong there if she imposed me to do that? Because of the connection, you see. In the same way, mother sentient beings are same. Yeah. If it can be a little bit problem. I also know this. Other like this, you see. You just think, all the mother sentient beings have done so many good things to me. Because of this, I'm repaying back. If they didn't do, I'm not going to do this. That is the problem, you see. So we are not going in this way, you see. Then it becomes a problem. Then you are business, business, okay. This becomes business. So there's nothing like this, okay. I really wanted to do, yeah, yeah. And I use as a sensible person, as a well-educated person, as a being born as a really a good human being. So these are the morality, you see. If someone does something nice thing to you, I have to say thank you so much. You see. Thank you so much. Okay, I really appreciate. We have to say this, isn't it? Yeah, to encourage. In the same way, I wanted to repay back to my mother sentient being. They have done so many nice things. Yeah. If someone asks, if they didn't do anything to you, then how are you going to do? Still, I will say, yes, I wanted to do, you see. Yeah. I'm not going to drop, you see. Then it becomes self-centered, you see. There's a point. What you are raising has a point. So we have to go very carefully. Yeah. Mind has to understand where the mind is really going. Driving car, you see. Driving car. If we make a small mistake, it can cause a lot of damage, you see. The mind, we are driving mind towards Bodhicitta. Okay? If a small stain of selfish thinking, then it becomes so destructive. Yeah. Yeah, your question makes a lot of sense, a lot of meaning. Just think, okay?
Yeah, now I know it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we can break, isn't it?